Licata, hi. Whose side are you on with this whole situation? And do you like how Steve Cohen kind of just called it how he sees it? And with that, do you think Alonso could come back to the Mets after all this is said and done?
Well, I mean, there's a lot there, Nikki. First of all, I don't like what Steve Cohen said. I love what Steve Cohen said. And whose side am I on? This problem is a Pete Alonso problem. The Mets want him back. It was obvious based off of the way Steve Cohen addressed the fans there in attendance at Amazing Day. He's frustrated by these negotiations. Stearns and Cohen want Pete Alonso back, but they're not going to overpay for him. Where is Pete getting a better offer than what the Mets have given him? So, to me, the boos at Stearns or the frustration with Steve Cohen or the callers to my radio show, they're not understanding what's happening here. Pete Alonso and Scott Boras are the ones who turned down the contract that the Mets offered recently. Pete Alonso and his prior agents turned down the contract 2 years ago. Pete is the one who's holding things up here. All that being said, I do think, based off of what Cohen said on Saturday, I just get a gut feel that I think it's more likely that there is a door still open for Pete to come back and accept that offer. I don't think the Mets are going to extend, but I think Pete might not have any better offers and ultimately comes to his senses and realizes this is the best spot for him and the best offer and could be a Met, for the next few years.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Pete wants to come back with that offer, they're not going to turn him away. Okay, let's say Pete Alonso's time, though, as a Met is over. What's your ideal Mets starting lineup?
Yeah, it's a little thin, Nikki, but I'm still going to go with the main three at top. Nobody's going to doubt Francisco Lindor leading off. I spoke to Carlos Mendoza on Saturday about this. He wouldn't commit to it, but this has got to be it. Lindor, number one. Soto batting in the second spot here. You saw what he could do last year, obviously. Now, he doesn't have Judge behind him, but Mark Vientos had a huge year last year. I think he's going to be an impactful bat. And look, if Nimmo plays like an all-star the entire season and Alvarez does what's expected, all of a sudden that lineup looks heavier. The bottom of the order, they had some question marks, but you see all the slashes there. That means they also have options. They don't need McNeil and Acuna. They need one of those two. They don't need Mauricio and Beatty. They need one of those two guys. And by the way, if those guys don't work out or Winker and Marte struggle, they could always go get a bat or two at the trade deadline. So it may look thin right now, but if Nimmo reaches his full potential, Alvarez, those guys at the bottom of the order, if you get one of them to go off, all of a sudden it starts to look like a very deep lineup for the Mets without any additions.
Just doesn't look right without Pete Alonso for me, but I guess only time will tell. Sal Licata, thank you so much for joining us here on Honda Sports Night.